Swain Event time!
My man.
It is time for the Swain Event, fueled by Dead End Barbecue. This is real sports talk for the real sports fan. Talk to him, Swain.
Get into his house and a Ric Flair.
Swain Event, SwainEvent.com, fueled by Dead End Barbecue, top 100 barbecue restaurant in America. Ben McKee, Go Vols 247. I'm Jason Swain, live in the Low T Center studio. Hope everyone's having a great start to your month. It is February the 3rd, a couple minutes past the top of the hour on a still white Tuesday here in East Tennessee. Tennessee basketball, 3-game winning streak. Dang, Ben, you still mad at the Pittsburgh Steelers? You just going to throw the beanie, the Steelers hat, just going to throw it on the floor like that? Hold on. You still mad at them?
I am still mad at them for the way that they lost in the playoffs. Not as mad about the Mike McCarthy hire as I was when it happened, but there was a nice little glare on my beanie from my light. So I was hoping that would fix it, but now it seems like my head is glaring. So I don't know. We're rocking and rolling this morning. Happy 100th Black History Month to you and yours. I love y'all greatly. It may be white outside, but happy Black History Month, my friend.
Okay. I didn't even think about that this morning. Thank you. I appreciate that. All right, dude. Basketball 3-game winning streak. That was the biggest story right before dinner last night, but that changed because the biggest story in sports currently is centered around Tennessee.
Sports.
College sports. And I don't know if we say former Tennessee quarterback or Tennessee quarterback.
I mean, I kind of think he's it's not former because his playing days aren't officially over. I think he is a current Vol until the court tells him that he's not.
Well, here we go. Ben McKee, I'll let you lay the foundation of where we are with Joey Aguilar.
You are so tired of these NCAA eligibility rulings, aren't you?
No, well, of course, everybody's tired of it. I think it just now, which I've had the same take for months. So when Bama fans try to point the finger and use the whataboutisms to highlight the fact that Joey Aguilar is seeking another year eligibility, I was like, dude, I'm consistent. I don't think you should get one. But there's going to be a lot of folks that's going to be hypocrites because it's Tennessee. And
Well, I think this is much different than the Charles Bediako situation. Again, like we talked about when the Bediako thing happened, he gave up his college eligibility.
I get it.
Joey has not turned pro and decided to come back because he could not cut it at the professional
That's different.
level. But I feel you. Let me lay the groundwork, and then we can get into our conversation, or you can share your thoughts on where you would like to go with it. But Joey Aguilar, as Swain mentioned, came out yesterday evening. Adam Sparks did a great job of reporting for the Knoxville News Sentinel that Joey Aguilar is continuing his pursuit of an extra season of college football and a return to Tennessee next season, but he's now pivoting his legal strategy in doing so. after hiring his own attorney and removing himself as a plaintiff in the Diego Pavia lawsuit attempting to strike down junior college seasons from counting towards NCAA eligibility. Aguilar filed a separate lawsuit in Knox County Chancery. I hope I said that word correctly. Apologies if I didn't. Court. The Knoxville News Sentinel reported on Monday afternoon. Aguilar previously attached himself to the Vanderbilt quarterback's case in November as his productive season as Tennessee starter neared its conclusion, but now he's creating his own path. Aguilar's pivot is presumably aimed at improving his chances of a successful ruling, be it a temporary restraining order or a preliminary injunction, and getting one quickly. And as Patrick Brown writes for us in our story that we posted after Adam Sparks initially reported the news, the location change is notable given it follows similar efforts from other SEC athletes going the state-local route for their legal actions rather than federal courts. Charles Bediako, he flat out benefited from his judge being a donor for Alabama. And we saw Ole Miss with Trinidad Chambliss after he had his NCAA waiver denied last month, trying to get a year back for a medical redshirt at Fair State in 2022. He sued college sports governing body, the NCAA, in Lafayette County, Mississippi, where Oxford and the Ole Miss campus are located. And I think obviously it feels like you may have a greater chance if you go the local route. But the other thing is I think they're, for obvious reasons, trying to speed up the process as well, right? Like they want this done before spring practice. It needs to be done before spring practice. And the Pavia case in federal court is heading towards a February 10th preliminary injunction. And this theoretically with Aguilar would help him get an earlier one and a quicker decision than the one that is probably going to come down in the Pavia lawsuit. So Joey Aguilar, in his pursuit of an additional year, has really pivoted from the federal court by taking his own legal action. And this comes after Adam Sparks once again reported last week that Joey Aguilar had hired Cam Norris as his representation. He's the attorney who previously represented President Donald Trump and also was part of the state of Tennessee successful lawsuit against the NCAA over its NIL rules in 2024. Norris represented the states of Tennessee and Virginia as they sued the NCAA over its NIL investigation into the Vols and the recruitment of Nico Iamaleava.
To be clear, if I was Joey Aguilar, I would do the same thing. We're talking about $2 million or more on the table here for him to come back as a Tennessee quarterback. So I'm not blaming Joey Aguilar. I would do the same thing if I were him. With that being said, I feel like junior college is college. Junior college is college. And I think 5 years to play 5, a blanket rule across the board would help solve some of this mess. There are times when student athletes are passed over out of high school, meaning they didn't get, the offers that they thought they were going to get in a certain time frame, and they need extra time to get recruited. I feel like I'm going through that now as a parent myself of an athlete. And so everyone's timeline is different. Not everyone is recruited as a sophomore, as a junior, as a senior, and on the radar. You develop late. And so there are times when that happens and you have to go to JUCO. Prime example that involves Tennessee is Jonathan Johnson. Remember him? Number 81 receiver during Butch Jones's years. Glenn College. There are times when academically you didn't get the job done in high school and you have to go to JUCO. Well, that year should be that wake-up call for you. And then from there, can handle your academics, go to a 4-year college, and then go on from there. But still, like you still should be held accountable for not taking care of your business academically. That's why I think 5 years to play 5 handles all that stuff. So
I went to community college. It operated the same as when I was at UT. The courses were certainly more difficult at UT, but in terms of like college life, I may not have been in a dorm or anything like that, but in terms of like you're on your own, you're responsible for getting to and from class. You'll 2 classes on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 1 class on Tuesday, Thursday, whatever your schedule is. I mean, it operates like a SEC school. The courses are more difficult. It is college.
it's college, man. Junior college is college. So again, I don't blame Joey for trying to get an extra year. I just don't think he should. I don't think none of these guys should get a 6th and 7th year. I think 5 is good, and in that window, if you're able to play 5 because you didn't get hurt, because you took care of your academics, then boom, you should be rewarded and be able to play 5 and profit for extra year of college. But if something happens, whether you get hurt or academically you didn't do what you're supposed to do, then boom, you have that year buffer. And so, do I hope he gets the extra year? Because I'm a Tennessee fan, I'm really indifferent.
That was going to be my question for you, because it seems like the consensus. We've already gotten a couple of messages on the text box that agrees that it's time for Joey to move on. But I think the consensus is we all think junior college years should count towards your eligibility. We also agree that if we were Joey Aguilar with $2 million on the line, he's not going to earn $2 million at the NFL level. He can only earn $2 million at the college level. Yes. So although we agree that junior college years should count, we also agree that we would do the same thing if we were Joey Aguilar. So to me, the only question that needs to be asked is what you just said is, if you're Tennessee, do you want this year to be awarded to Joey? That to me is the question. And I would think, just from the outside looking in, the fact that they have saved a roster spot for him, the fact that they have $2 million in NIL money for him, that means that, okay, maybe Tennessee thinks that it can survive without Joey. They sure would like to have him if they can. To me, that's the question, is if you're Tennessee, do you want him? Do you truly want and need him to have this extra year of eligibility granted?
I think if you're Tennessee, you feel better about him coming back than probably a first-time freshman quarterback. If he does come back, then I mean you're talking about $6 to $7 million, between $6 and $8 million. I'm sure that's going to be tied up in your quarterback room. But you are in a position where you really can't afford not to do that. You kind of have to do it. Again, I feel like we need to reiterate this every time each one of us talks, so folks who are just now tuning in don't get confused. We would do the same thing if we were Joey Aguilar. I'm glad that there's a lot of people that kind of feel the same way. Like, 6 years is too much, and it's time for some other dudes to step in there and have an opportunity and get their opportunities to play. You want to win, but at the same time, there's a difference between being a Tennessee fan and being a fan of the sport and believing in what's right. And if you're Tennessee, like, I don't blame Tennessee. I don't, because I do look at Alabama and I'm like, hey, Oates is doing it because Nate Oates is doing that because his roster's not good enough. And
they went out and got the I'm blanking on his name. If you give me 2 seconds, they went out and got Micah. It's Micah something. No, it's Noah Williamson. They went out and got Noah Williamson. He was at Bucknell the last couple of years, and he has been butt booty terrible in the post. 7-foot center was supposed to be their post player this year, and he has not been good at all. So why did Nate Oates go get Charles Bediako? It's not because Nate Oates has some grand opinion on these college eligibility rules. It's because his front court is not good, and he needed somebody. And Charles Bediako is somebody that right now, because there's no rules really in place, there's no laws, because I don't even think NCAA rules can make a difference anymore. I think there's going to have to be laws put in place to have rules, if that makes sense. He went out and got Bediako. It's if Tennessee did not need a quarterback, I do believe Tennessee is very confident in George McIntyre. I do believe that. And Faison Brandon. Faison's just a year younger. But I don't think they're 100% certain. If they were 100% certain and George McIntyre for next season, I don't think that they'd keep this door open.
Or hit the portal the way they hit the portal with, entertaining bringing in a quarterback.
Yes. Yep. Yeah. At least the big tier quarterbacks. They probably would have still added a Ryan Staub type because you need a third quarterback, but they would not have pursued Sam Levitt and some of the other big names, the Brendan Sorsbys, those type of guys. And I know Sorsby was basically a done deal to Texas Tech from the jump, but there were conversations there between Tennessee and Sorsby's camp. So Baylor going after the center, bringing in
Najee.
Yes, it was first name James, I believe, the Nigerian center. They did that because they needed a post player. Alabama desperately needed a post player, and I don't think that Tennessee desperately needs a quarterback, but it sure could use somebody who led the SEC in passing last year.
Yeah,
that's why these options are being pursued. And on those players' standpoint, it's more advantageous for them to still be in college because at least with the basketball players, they haven't been able to cut it at the professional level. They're not good enough to play at the next level, so they can come back to college and make more money than they will make at the professional level. And for Joey, as I said earlier, Joey's not making $2 million in the NFL. He is getting the same thing Jarrett Garantano got, and that is a camp invite, and hopefully he can earn his way up from there. But he's not making $2 million at the next level. This was my whole thing with Zakai Ziegler back when Kentucky fans were saying, "Oh, just go get a job, graduate, and move on." And it's like, yeah, I hear you. I'm tired of seeing these old men, these 40-year-olds playing college sports as well. But Zakai Ziegler's not going to make $5 million at the next level, $3 million, whatever that number was. He's not making it now playing overseas. Is it in Italy? I forget where he's playing. Maybe it's in France. But
don't matter.
He's not making that money now. So, like, if you're the player, you have to put your shoes in you have to put your feet in their shoes. Like, why would you not try and make the most money you can at the college level and pursue all options, because you're just not going to get that at the next level.
All right, the phone lines are jam-packed. Let's get to the phones. The Guards of Law hotline, 865-255-03, and then we'll get to the Beatty Chevrolet text box because the text box is humming as well, too. Swain Event, fueled by Dead End Barbecue. Let's start it off with...
Good morning, guys. It's Mississippi Vol.
Mississippi Vol, good morning, sir.
Yeah, I'm in agreement with Swain. 5 years to play 5, But I understand where Joy is coming from, where all these players coming from. But at some point, Tennessee is going to have to play the quarterbacks we recruit. I mean, we don't want it to be a knock that we getting these 5 stars and we keep getting these transfer quarterbacks to come play in front of them. Another thing, I think if they keep allowing this, baseball would benefit more than anybody. Are you agree with that, Ben? Like,
yes, I do. I think maybe it was Justin in Florida called in last week or the week before and brought this up. Forgive me if it was somebody else, but asked when this was going to happen in football and particularly baseball, because there are far more players that, because the minor leagues are so vast, that guys that are first, second, third round picks, very, very good college baseball players that leave after their second year, depending on if they're a 2-year or 3-year guy coming out of high school, they leave after 2 or 3 years of college and they don't ever make it to the big leagues. So I agree with you. I think it's just a matter of time before somebody tests it from a baseball standpoint, and it could open the floodgates depending on how that goes.
And another thing I was going to say before I hang up, like Tennessee has benefited from that for a couple of years with the defensive line guys we had come back for their sixth year, 7th year, however long defensive linemen played at Tennessee.
They got the COVID year.
Oh, yeah, they got the COVID year. I'm glad that's over with. But, yeah, so other than that, I'm going to hang up and listen.
Hey, thank you, Mississippi Vol. Let's keep it going. Good morning.
What up, y'all? It's Rusty.
What's up, Russ?
Hope you guys are warm and safe and sound, and all your roads are clear.
They are. I appreciate that.
Yeah, man. Ours is still a little iffy up here. Move from California where there's usually pretty perfect weather, and
welcome home.
5 days and worst storm in 10 years.
Welcome home, Rusty.
Right? Hey, first off, let's get this part out of the way because I want both of your opinions on this side of the argument. Is Joey being the quarterback Tennessee's best chance for winning football games in 2026?
I believe so.
I would lean yes, but I don't know if we know for sure. I think George McIntyre could be pretty dang good if his body can hold up.
Faison Brandon could be Brent Schaefer, Eric Ainge is a true freshman. We don't know. Faison could be ready right now. We don't know. But odds are it's Joey, right, Ben? As the best chance. Okay.
Yes.
So, now, the next part of all this, and I don't know what the rules should or shouldn't be, but I know this. Without collective bargaining, there are none. There's no 5-year rules. There's no one transfer portal. There's no you got paid to play professionally and you can't ever play again. Every bit of that, without collective bargaining, will be challenged in a court of law, and the NCAA is going to lose like 99 out of 100 times. Some kid's going to some kid's going to try to go in a portal this May and say, "You can't. I'm switching schools at the end of my spring semester, and I'm going somewhere else, and you can't stop me from playing ball and making money at another school." And a courtroom's going to rule in his favor.
There's a rule about foregoing your eligibility and then coming back.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's an NCAA rule that Bediako or a bunch of other people are going to challenge in the courtroom, and they're going to lose it unless you get the players and the schools to agree they're employees. They can sign contracts that are binding for multiple years, and it has wording in it that, yes, if you go pro, you're no longer eligible. They have to collective bargaining it. Right now, you have one side making rules in the United States of America, which is the schools, and you have the other side, which is the workers, the players that aren't in the agreement, and that is why they lose the courtroom, because you can't do it. And they're going to continue. And Joey's going to win, and Bediako, who long-term is going to win, and anybody else that challenges is going to win until these other ADs and these presidents of these commissioners of these conferences get together and say, yes, we're going to come to a table, we're going to actually do what's right, we're going to bargain this out and have two sides that sign a deal.
Here's my thing, Rusty. Why would any player agree to that, to where their money would be limited?
Because
how much they can make.
Because there's like 18 to 20% of the players in college athletics right now that make the money.
Right, but it's the same thing in baseball. It's no different than baseball. The top players in baseball are making these astronomical numbers, and now they're headed for a lockout next season.
I know, but let me finish the statement, though, man. The swim team and the gymnastics team, those are college athletes, too. They all have to become employees as well. So it's the 18 to 20% of the players that are making all the money don't make up that other 80% of the players that are going to come to the table and say, yes, we want to be made employees also. We all want to get our piece of the whole puzzle too. So you're going to have all these athletes across the country that aren't making any money that now become employees and make something. That's why.
But how does that still...
You can't just collectively bargain with the players that are making the money. You have to collectively bargain with every athlete across the United States at the D1 level, and all of those people are making, or what were you going to ask? How are we going to pay those athletes?
No, I understand that you have to collective bargain with all of the athletes, but still,
Yeah.
why would the top athletes agree to where their money's going to be limited?
Because if they don't agree to it, they're not part of the deal, and they can't play. They can't sign off on it. You only need a certain percentage to like form a union. Like you get 65-70% of the student athletes to sign off on it, and those other players either got to like agree to go along with it, or they can't be, or they're not going to be part of it. They're not going to get paid. And here's the other thing: they can collectively bargain this out and make them employees, and they have a payroll, and they sign for 3 years, and blah blah blah. All these guys that are really making the big money, they can still sign separate NIL deals for themselves. They're never going to be able. They're never going to be able to put a salary cap on this, because you can still have a booster pay somebody to advertise their Ford dealership and pay them, $20 million a year or $5 million a year or whatever. Can't stop that, because as I think every professional NFL athlete right now has Patrick Mahomes has a pretty good deal with Adidas. That's not part of his salary. You're still going to have Ryan Williams as at Alabama that's got to deal with somebody that's paying extra money over the swim team players. But you have to collectively bargain it, or you can't enforce rules. It'd be like the MLB putting down rules, and there's no player union, or any other of these leagues.
Yes.
Can't do it.
Seems like the direction that need to go into is collective bargaining, Rusty, man. Thanks for the phone call. Let's keep it going. Good morning. Hello. All right. Next. Good morning.
Good morning.
Hey, Turkey Man.
Hey, buddy. Hey, I'm kind of interested in what you guys are putting down today. It's a mess. It started with COVID, extra year eligibility with COVID. I don't know exactly all there is to know about this, so I won't go there. But one thing that I did come across my mind, because Joey was in the conversation of the Heisman running early for the team, kind of the way it went, because of what he was able to do in the offense. What if? What if he did come runner of the Heisman? What if he had an opportunity to win the Heisman? Because he was in the talk early. He had the numbers.
I don't think he was ever seriously considered.
Well,
I think people looked at his numbers and compared it to people who really were in the conversation, but Joey was always passed over all season long. People overlooked him all season long from a national standpoint.
So you tell me if the team had been what it should have been with the scheduling they had, and we it was all disappointed in, and it beat the socks off of Vanderbilt, which were didn't, but it otherwise took care of business there. He would not have went instead of
no.
Okay.
Well, in that fantasy world, yes, but if Charles Woodson didn't exist, Peyton Manning also would have won the Heisman.
Well, that's true too, but I'm just saying he was in the talk.
He was briefly mentioned after his Georgia performance, but then he did not play well against Alabama and did not play well against Oklahoma, and the whole team got the butts kicked by Vanderbilt after previous losses. So the Heisman thing was never anything that was truly serious.
Never with
correct.
Joey. Never with Joey. That was all local. That was all local talk, but no one seriously considered Joey Aguilar outside of, Tennessee fans talking about it, on these type of platforms.
Well, anyhow, the Heisman's a fancy thing for a Tennessee fan. Anyhow, I'll let you go.
All right, Turkey Man. 865-255-03.
I mean, Joey would be, if he returned, he would be one of the better quarterbacks in the SEC returning for next season.
He should be. He should be. He was leading the league in passing most of the season this year or last year. And Ty Simpson played more games than Joey's, which is why he had more passing yards, and then Trinidad Chambers played more games. But, yeah, no reason to think that Joey coming back next year, he wouldn't, be one of those quarterbacks that is held in high regard and up for, awards and things like that. But I mean, he should be, because this will be his sixth, seventh year playing college football.
I don't know how many years at this point.
You should have an advantage, and like I wouldn't be upset if Joey is back. And City Vol here says, I would welcome Joey back in a heartbeat. People saying it's time for him to move on and don't want him back here are crazy to me. He solves our problem for quarterback 2026 and would make the season's outlook look brighter. Well, City Vol, there are people that are thinking bigger than just Tennessee. They're thinking about what's good for the sport rather than just what's good for their team. So,
but City Vol's points, there are Vol fans that are like, "Oh, it's just time for Joey to move on," and I understand what the frustrations. I understand the frustrations overall with college sports right now. But does Joey Aguilar help Tennessee win more football games next year? The answer is yes. So why anybody would be against that is, to City Vol's point, is a little baffling.
Yeah, but again, there are people that will not waver in their principles when they say, I believe that a guy who played 5 years already in college shouldn't play a 6. And I don't care if it's my school or not. Those are those people who feel that way. There are some who say, well, since it's us and the rules are all a mess, I mean, we might as well take advantage of the system. Why not us? Other people are doing it. Oh, well, anything we can do to win. That's that group of people. And so you can be wherever you want to be. Like, no judgment. I get it. Like, you want to win. But personally, for me, I can't be a hypocrite just because it will benefit my team. I'm choosing to say, no, anyone. If Joey was a faceless, nameless player, and we said, all right, here's this player that played these amount of years in JUCO, played these amount of years in college, this player should not be able to play anymore in college football. I would feel the same way if it was Joey Aguilar or Joe Smith or Muhammad Jackson or Ben McKee or Jason Swain or anybody. But
yeah,
that's just me. Others can feel a certain way. They can feel differently. They can feel like, hey, man, again, the rules are all over the place. Why not take advantage of them while we can to try to win? I get that too.
Yeah, that's my thing is, like, I agree that these type of former JUCO players should not have the eligibility, but why worry about it while the waters are so muddied? If your team can win an extra game because of it, while there are no rules in place, so you're not really holding yourself to a principle, like, why worry about it? You can have your opinion. I have my opinion and agree with everybody that these JUCO years should not count, but I'm not going to feel guilty if my team benefits from it.
You don't think the JUCO years should count?
I do think they should count.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry if I misspoke. I do think that they should count. But I have that opinion, but if my team is going to benefit while the rules are murky and you're not, I don't really view it as like you're letting down on your principle or anything like that. Like, it's not ethically wrong. Like, if it helps your team win a game, then take advantage of it while you can.
Can we say that there are no rules? I mean, there kind of are rules. Like, you get.
I don't think there are right now, eligibility wise, because who is determining all of the decisions? The players in any sport that are being ruled eligible or being ruled ineligible. Who is making those decisions?
Well, the NCAA.
No, they're not. Federal judges are making those decisions. The NCAA is not making any of these decisions.
Now they are, but it used to not be that way. There used to be rules in place, which that's why I'm asking you, like, when did it become a thing where rules were not in place? Because somewhere along the line, folks understood, okay, I played my 4 years, it's time to move on. But and this is where Turkey Man's point come into play about COVID. Somewhere along the line, someone said, you know what? I'm a senior. I've played my senior season, and instead of moving on, I'm going to challenge and try to come back next year. Like, that changed in the last couple of years. There's always been rules in place that you just move on.
There's not anymore because now people realize that the NCAA doesn't really have a say.
But
Ben,
you're saying it's not rules. There are rules. There's just more people challenging those rules and winning. But there's still rules.
If I understand that they are supposed to be rules, but when they are being challenged in court, and the NCAA, it cannot enforce penalties or enforce these rules, then I do not view them as rules. I understand that they are rules on paper, but when athletes are able to take them to court, and what the court is saying is overruling what you are saying, your rules do not mean a single thing to me. And the NCAA is making decisions on this guy being eligible, that guy being eligible, but then those athletes are taking them to court, and they are being ruled over. People are going above them, and courts are ruling over their heads. So, like, when that is happening, yes, I see your rules on paper, but to me, they're not actually rules.
Yeah. Well, not everybody's getting approved. Not everybody's winning in court. Maybe the Oklahoma player that was just denied, maybe he goes to court and tries to get an extra year, but not everyone is successful. There are people that's being shut down. Bediako getting his temporary injunction doesn't mean that everybody is out here winning against the
we just saw it last year with Alberto Osuna.
Yeah.
That did not go well for Osuna, unfortunately, and did not play out the way that Tony Vitello thought it would, and unfortunately, Alberto did not play last year. So it's certainly not benefiting everybody.
No, it's not at all. 865-255-03. Oh, man. Listen, I get it, man. Win games. If you can win, why not, right? Sky Ziegler understood why he tried to get an extra year. It's too much money not to try. But didn't feel like he deserved a fifth year of playing. Just didn't think he deserved it. So there's that internal tussle that you're having as a fan of the team, as a fan of the sport. What's right for the sport? What's right for your team? 865-255-03. Be right back.
You're listening to the Swain Event.
You don't say.
Fueled by Dead End Barbecue.
Guys, you can feel your energy slipping away, losing what makes you, you. It could be low testosterone. Take action now. Low T Center can help reclaim your energy with a quick and simple free T-test. Visit Low T Center and receive pharmaceutical-grade testosterone never compounded like other clinics. Experienced providers increase your testosterone to the level that is just right for you. Treatment is covered by most major insurance with affordable self-pay options available. The best you is waiting. Book your free T-test at trtmvp.com. When you are craving some quality barbecue, there's only one place to go. Dead End Barbecue. Dead End Barbecue has been featured on ESPN's Taste of the Town, the first barbecue restaurant on the SEC Network, CBS Sports, Headline News Tailgate Show, Amazon Prime's The Restaurant Comeback, Food Paradise, and named one of the top 100 barbecue restaurants in America. The search is over. Dead End Barbecue is located on 3621 Sutherland Avenue right here in Knoxville. You can even have it delivered right to your door through Chow Now. Visit their website at deadendbbq.com. Dead End Barbecue. The search is over.
Out-of-town law firms have been swarming into East Tennessee lately. From Memphis, Chattanooga, and Birmingham, they've stormed into the area. Wouldn't you rather do business with a local firm? You know, a true neighbor. Marcos Garza and the pros at the Garza Law Firm are just that. There are neighbors and friends that support local causes year-round. The Garza Law Firm works to serve you professionally on criminal matters, injuries and accident matters, and Social Security and disability filings. The Garza Law Firm is here for you at garzalaw.com. The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
What's up, Swain Event crew? Jennifer Morris here with Keller Williams Realty. Fall sports can be a roller coaster ride for us fans. The excitement, drama, and passion will make us crazy sometimes. I can't manage the games, but I can help you manage your real estate needs while you're cheering on the Vols. Reach out at 865-694-5904 or contact me at nextmovesmokymountains.com. That's nextmovesmokymountains.com, and go Vols.
Mississippi Fall says Carson Beck was in the same class as C.J. Stroud, NFL Rookie of the Year 3 years ago. That's crazy to me, especially when he said he hadn't taken classes in 2 years. Yeah, I mean, he graduated. And wanted to come back. And here's the thing, like, nobody can blame these athletes for trying to come back and get an extra year. I mean, Carson Beck made $4 million last year. I mean, I get it. I totally get it. Like, I don't blame a kid for wanting to eat candy for dinner. I don't blame Turkey Man for wanting banana pudding as a side of dead-end barbecue. I don't blame him. I don't blame him. You should want that. You should try to get that check. That don't mean you should do it and be able to. Somebody has to say no. Chip Payne says, I agree, but however, this year's schedule suggests that Joey needs to come back. You can't start a not so experienced young quarterback to play this schedule. I don't think if this was last year's schedule, probably not asking Joey to come back. So basically, Chip say, hey, man, this schedule is tough. We got to have Joey come back. If you saw Chip Payne's man cave, man barn, man shed, man space, you would understand why Chip has this take today. Chip care about the Vols, and he lives in Georgia territory. He's like, listen, I don't know, we're trying to win. I'm trying to win. Vol in Birmingham, from a football outlook, yes, I would want him back. Heupel wants him back, or they wouldn't be still working to get him an extra year. Too much political help with this for it not to be UT pushing. I mean, it's hard not to believe that there's not some influence from Tennessee.
But now, I know football's football, and little old baseball's little old baseball. But Alberto Osuna tried to get his extra year here in East Tennessee as well, and the judge here in East Tennessee did not rule in his favor. So theoretically, it helps you, but it does not help you all the time.
The thing about Nate Oates that I continue to bring up is, like, you decided to hit the red button for Bediako. Like, I understand doing what you did and you know, falling on the sword and taking those hits and standing up for Brandon Miller. Like, I get it, dude's a baller. Like, the Hornets right now on a 7-game winning streak. I get it. You had a chance to win a national championship with Brandon Miller. I totally understand. Bediako is not even that great. Tennessee, I get it. This is a quarterback. This is a quarterback that was top 3 in passing the past year after coming to campus in May. I get it. I understand. I understand going and fighting for Nico at the time. I get it. I totally get it. Just a little bit different.
I just don't think this is something that fans should feel guilty about. And I don't think there are a lot of fans that do feel guilty, but just going off of, you mentioned the word principle in the first segment, like there may be some people who would much rather stand on that principle, and I love that, but I just don't think that this is one that should make you feel bad if you are one of those people. This isn't, You just gave a great example. This isn't blindly supporting Alabama basketball if you're an Alabama fan because you love Brendan Miller, and Brendan Miller's awesome, and Brendan Miller has a chance to lead you to the Final Four when there's evidence that he whether he knew or not, he helped deliver a murder weapon to Darius Miles that led to a young woman being shot and killed. Like this isn't blindly, this isn't that, right? Like this isn't some grand ethical issue. So I think it's okay to, like you and I have said a million times at this point, like it's okay to think that, hey, these guys should not get another year because JUCO years should count, but you shouldn't feel guilty about it because it's not unethical or anything. It's just there's the rules are not being enforced the way that they should right now. And everybody feels like they can go above the NCAA's head. And like, I don't think there's anything ethically wrong with that.
I mean, I think different people are going to feel differently. Like, I would feel a certain type of way if I change my stance based on the team that I root for. Like, I would feel that way, which is why I'm not changing my stance. Like, I feel it's important to be consistent, but I'm not judging someone else who says, "Hey, I just want the best for my team." Like, I get it, but like I'm not in that position where like I feel comfortable doing that. I feel like I need to be consistent. Not because I need to, because I want to, and it's like it's how I feel. So,
and just to be clear, I'm not saying that people should do that either. I just, to me, this Joey Aguilar situation, Trinidad Chambliss, like these are different situations. These JUCO players, it's a totally different situation than the Charles Bediako situation to me. Like the Bediako situation is kind of when principle comes in, ethics come in. Like you gave up your eligibility. Like that's that. To me, it's just a totally different situation. Even though the crux of it is eligibility, the stories behind it are much different.
Well, my thing is, if Joey Aguilar wasn't a Tennessee quarterback and we were looking at the UCLA quarterback trying to get a 6th year, I would say no. If he was at Colorado, I would say no. If he was at Texas, I would say no. And because he's at Tennessee, I'm going to say the same thing. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not saying that the Bediako and Aguilar thing is the same, because it's not. It's
no.
Are you going to believe the same thing and have the same take if it includes your team that you cheer for? That's where I am at.
Yeah, and I'm with you. You should not be doing that at all. Now, just to have a little fun here.
Mm-hmm.
What if this quarterback, this UCLA quarterback, who is not Nico Iamaleava, we'll create a player. We'll call him Benjamin Swain. If this Benjamin Swain quarterback for some reason was still in college, wanting an additional year because he went the JUCO route, and he was going to be a legitimate Heisman frontrunner, and he wanted to transfer to Tennessee, and Tennessee might be a quarterback away, what would you say?
I would say, if you're Tennessee, you're trying to win, you have a job to do. If you're Josh Heupel, go try to get him if you can.
That's a great answer.
And I would say, but I personally don't think that the young man should get another year. Like, I would have the same take.
But if you were getting Fernando Mendoza, if you were getting a Heisman winner, you would have your beliefs, but you would secretly be rooting that he'd be eligible for the Vols this year.
I would.
If Joey Aguilar turned into Francisco Mendoza this season, and you could see in the future, like That's So Raven, and you can see the Heisman being won and being brought back to Knoxville after all the pain of Charles Woodson winning the Heisman took place, you would be, oh yeah, come on, Joey. You'd be rooting hard for Joey to get that extra year, even though in theory you disagree with the principles of it.
Well, the truth is, if Tennessee football is successful and wins a lot of games, like, it's good for my business. It's good for my work. I obviously will make more money, and I will be happy with that. And so, like, if I had the ability to look into the future and I say, all right, if this guy comes back, there's a chance that Tennessee's going to win the national championship and he's going to win the Heisman, then, yeah, like, that's probably going to alter my opinion. But I'm telling you, man, I'm standing on what I believe here. And if he comes back, I'll be happy for him, and I will cheer for him. And like, he's an awesome young man. Like, Joe Aguilar is so awesome, man. And I'm glad it worked out the way it worked out when he came to Tennessee. And you know, you love his family, but again, you can still believe what you believe, man. You still can't. I just think that if you go to JUCO, and I've been in a situation my senior year. I didn't handle business the way I should have handled business my senior year. I was almost about to go to JUCO. Almost. I got senioritis. I was over everything. I had put all this extra work in, taking these, different ACT tests, and I was just over it, man. I was over it. And so my core GPA dropped a little bit because I only made a certain number on my ACT because it was a sliding scale. And so when I was told I needed this ACT number and this GPA to get in, I was like, well, I got this score and my GPA is a little bit higher. So even if I slack off a little bit, it still will be above that threshold, and I'll be okay. Well, senioritis kicked in and it dropped lower than I expected it to drop. And so it was touch and go. And I was like, man, it would have been my fault. It would have been my fault. So how would it be if me not taking care of my business academically, going to JUCO, should get the same amount of years as someone that handled their business coming out of high school, that went to a 4-year college their freshman year? Like, how is it fair if we get the same amount of years? It wouldn't have been fair. So JUCO years count. They count. I'm sorry, I can't omit that. They count. There are times when guys have to go there, girls have to go there because they're looked over, and it's unfortunate. But again, I think if you get 5 years to play 5, you have that year to put in work, develop, and then it'll all work out. But
what does JUCO stand for?
Junior college.
Junior what?
College.
What is, fill in the blank for me? Huntsville, Alabama. Calhoun Community
College. Yeah, it's
college.
It
It is college. It's simple. It's not the most prestigious institutions. It's not the greatest college experience, but it is college. It's college. I did 2.5 years of it while I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do with my life before I transferred to Tennessee. And although the experiences were different, I still had to learn how to manage my time. I still had to get myself to class. I still had to work to pay for school. It's college. Even if it's a different level of college, it's still college. It's that simple.
865-255-03.
And the only reason these players are trying to get another year is because of the money. It's not because they actually believe that JUCO is not college. They just want different eligibility rules.
Too much money not to do it. Just good enough with a 2.5 sliding scale GPA. That's
slide scale.
Yeah. So like if your GPA is lower, you had to make a higher ACT. If your ACT was higher, then you can make a lower core GPA. So that's what happened.
Was this before or after the guidance counselor tried to get you in trouble?
Well, the guidance counselor tried to get me in trouble after I took the test because she didn't believe that I took it.
Because she was a bammer?
She didn't understand that there's this thing called cars that you can use to transport from one city to another. And there was no way that I can get from Huntsville to Atlanta in an 8-hour span. There's no way that you can get to Huntsville to Atlanta in 8 hours.
Especially the way that you drive.
Well, I wasn't even driving. But there was no way because we had a football game Friday night and the test was Saturday morning. So there's no way that Jason could get to Huntsville to Atlanta for 8 a.m. test on Saturday morning in Atlanta. That was her stance. But the truth is, my uncle woke my butt up at like 4 in the morning.
Ugh. I know that was an awful turnaround if you had a football game the night before.
Yeah, 4 in the morning, and we left Huntsville and went to Atlanta and took that test. And that was a test that I got that made me eligible. But I should have sued her ass, man. I should have sued her. That's what I should have did. If I would have known what I know now, I should have sued her. I should have sued her, man. I should have sued her, Feinbaum, everybody. I should have sued everybody. That's what I should have did. 865-255-03. Because apparently that's what you can do when people lie on you publicly. You can sue them. I should have known that. Let's see here.
Brian Hunsucker does make a great point
about
my comparison from football to baseball. He said, Ben, not only is football football and baseball is baseball, but Alberto Osuna was a part-time DH and Joey Aguilar is a quarterback. That is a phenomenal point, Mr. Hunsucker.
Yeah. It's one thing to compare a quarterback to a baseball player, but we're talking about a quarterback to a part-time designated hitter.
The problem is convince Tony Vitello of that. If you're going to go to at bat for Nico Iamaleava, why aren't you going to go to at bat for my D2 transfer that may or may not start at first base and designated hitter?
Yeah, folks don't want to really admit that because folks were just so on board with Tony and whatever he did, whatever he said. But Tony caused a big stink about that. And I get it, man. Like, on a human level, you gave that guy your word. You want to fight for him. You want to battle for him. Like, you hate to see him, going through what he's going through. But, bro, he ain't a quarterback in a football school. It's a little bit different. It's a little bit different. So,
and that's why Danny White took all of the baseball program's money and gave it to the Lady Vols, who can't play hard on Thursday night, and then turn around and play hard in the first half against UConn before getting run out of the building.
That narrative is continuing, so you might want to tell folks that you're joking about giving the money to the Lady Vols from baseball.
I am joking about Danny White taking the baseball team's money and giving it to the Lady Vols. That did not happen. The Lady Vols had a surplus, and the baseball team was hoping that it could borrow some money. That's what happened. They didn't take money and give it to somebody else.
Here's the thing about the Lady Vols. I've said this on this program before. Because there's a respect level with Lady Vols, I give them the same energy as I would give a men's team that's not doing what they're supposed to be doing. I don't put on the kid gloves for them just because they're Lady Vols. They want to be treated as equal. I'm about to treat you as equal.
Title IX.
That showing against Mississippi State was flat out embarrassing. You never wear Summit Blue uniforms and play with that type of effort, with that type of intensity, with that type of toughness. That was embarrassing. Embarrassing. Now, what happened in UConn, I knew Tennessee was going to lose that game. I did not think that we would get blown out by 30 points.
Especially when it was a close game at halftime.
I mean, it was tied at halftime.
That was closer than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, like, I get it. UConn's the best team in the country, They're number one for a reason. But 30-point defeat coming off the heels of a terrible performance at home where you wore Summit Blue and didn't even show up, that's a problem. That is a major problem.
It is. They've been a really tough watch this season. I know they got out to their 6-0 start in SEC play. Kudos to them for that. But even in the midst of those 6 games, it was tough to watch at times with just some of the sloppiness. And it is absolutely baffling to me how last year's team did not play the cleanest brand of basketball, but they were yet still so more disciplined and so much better coached. Like, where did the discipline and being coached up go to from one year to the next? I don't understand. Where did the effort go from one year to the next? I mean, everybody was high on Kim Caldwell after year one because of the effort they played with the discipline they played with, and because they were far more better coached than they were under Kelly Harper. Now it looks like Kelly Harper's coaching all over again. I mean, and that, like, I know you've already said it, but just to hammer it home because it was so disrespectful, that effort in the jerseys that you wear to honor Pat Summitt is pathetic.
It's like when Tennessee lost to Georgia 41-0 in 2017. Like, you honored Peyton. Peyton was in the house, and that's how you play? Like, once you understand, and I think part of it is, a lot of these girls are freshmen. But when you understand that you're playing for someone outside of yourself and it's bigger than you, and you playing for the people that play before you, you prevent having a performance like that. But I think part of it is a lot of these girls are young. Like, there's a lot of freshmen, a really good freshman class, but they are young, and that's where coaching comes into play, and you got to make sure that you're on them and you don't allow for them to have a performance like they've had. So, one thing I will give Kim Caldwell at that Mississippi State game, I mean, she owned it. I mean, she put it on herself. I do appreciate that, but hard watch, man. It's hard to watch that. No, thank you. Don't want to see it. Don't want to watch it. I watch any team, that plays hard, performs, fights, claws, scratches, and they were playing that way, but not against Mississippi State, not against UConn. All right. Ooh, Dusty says, entitled 5 stars. Pat would be ashamed. Can we talk a little bit about the men's program? We do have a game today, absolutely.
They do? The men's team has a game today?
Felix Ekpar looks like he's going to be out for another game, Ben.
Well, he is out. Ain't no looking like it. He was ruled out last night on the SEC availability report with a calf injury that he is managing. Rick Barnes alluded to him being kicked in practice last week after the Georgia game, which is why he did not play on Saturday night against Auburn. And then, in my opinion, with the quick turnaround, you should be able to handle Ole Miss without Felix. Give him an extra game off, a couple of days off, and have him ready to go this weekend by your trip to Lexington to play Kentucky, where hopefully you can get some revenge. So no Felix Akbar tonight, but I still think that Tennessee should be able to handle business with Jalen Carey, J.P. Estrella. Those guys played really well against Auburn. So did Dwayne Brown against his home state team. So you should still be able to get the job done even without Felix Akbar, although you will miss him for sure.
Dude, I stood next to Jalen Carey on Sunday. He came out and did the locker room. That's a big old boy, man.
He's an SEC defensive lineman. He really is. Stephen Pearl made that comment about him and Dwayne Brown. they are SEC defensive linemen. And I can only think about just Rodney Garner seeing Dwayne Brown in person with those long arms and that thick body. I mean, he's not as thick as zoo glass like Jalen Carey, like Dane Bradshaw apparently said on the broadcast. That's a good one. I'd never heard that before. I will be using that going forward because of Dane Bradshaw saying that Jalen Carey is thicker than zoo glass. That is an all-time quote in comparison. Kudos to Dane for breaking that one out. But you know that is it Spice Adams who that gif of him peeking around the tree, rubbing his hands together. That's Rodney Garner when he sees Dwayne Brown walking through the football facility, just thinking about getting his hands on him, line him up on the edge. Dwayne Brown could cause some havoc. Line beef Jalen Carey up a little bit more, put him in on the inside. Oh, you know Brian Hunsucker and Nelson and Rodney Garner, they're just sitting there peeking around the corner, rubbing their hands together of what they could do with Dwayne Brown and Jalen Carey on a football field.
I did ask Jalen Carey how annoying is it that everyone brings up football to him. He was like, yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot. All right, Ben McKee, for those who are looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate, folks looking to move to Knoxville, move out of their current neighborhood within Knoxville, move to another one, there's one person they call, right?
And that is Jennifer Morris of Keller Williams Realty. She will help you take care of everything you want to accomplish in the world of real estate. And as I mentioned last week, with the mid-state getting hit with an ice storm and Nashville still dealing with that, our thoughts and prayers are with those who are affected and continue to be affected. And then our neck of the woods getting hit with a good bit of snow over the weekend. Jennifer can't help you fix things around your house, but she knows people who can fix things around your house. So not only can she take care of all your real estate needs, she can help you make sure your house is in good care because she has great points of contact. So make sure you reach out to Jennifer Morris for all of your needs. And we mentioned on Thursday's show that we were giving away a pair of baseball tickets, and we do have a winner. So can we get a drum roll, my good friend Jason Swain, for the tickets that we are giving out for Tennessee baseball's game against Kent State on Saturday, February 21st.
A drum roll.
A drum roll.
I don't even think I have a hotkey drum roll.
I thought you had one.
No, I got this. Hold on, I got a little something for you. A little game show. All right.
The winner is Mike Womack. Mike Womack is the winner of the pair of Tennessee baseball tickets to see Josh Elander's Vols take on Kent State Saturday, February 21st. So make sure that you reach out to Jennifer. Mike Womack, we mentioned on social media at Fountain City Realtor. Fountain is FTN City Realtor. Make sure you reach out to her to claim those. And Jennifer said that she will be doing more giveaways. So make sure you're tuned in and reach out if you need anything her way. Next time, I want the Clark Griswold drum roll, please.
Yeah, I don't have any drum roll.
No, I need you to be the drum roll next time.
No, I ain't gonna be making that sound on the show. I'm good.
Sounds like you need to clip another hotkey.
I'm good.
My preference is the one from Christmas Vacation.
We'll work on that. Third score tonight, Estrella, or you want Bishop Boswell?
Third score.
Yeah, third. Okay,
You're just making assumptions that Jacoby Gillespie and Nate Ament are going to lead the team, huh?
Yeah, because I think Jacoby's going to be better, and Nate Ament's going to do what he's been doing.
What he's been doing for the last month.
Yeah. So, Estrella,
I mean, even with
Boswell.
That's a good question. I'll say JP. I think he's starting to figure things out. I mean, it might be Jalen Carey. Jalen was the second leading scorer on Saturday night against Auburn. But I worry about Jalen's consistency, if I'm being honest. And he did not have the best practice yesterday, so we'll see how that translates to the game today. But I'll go JP. I'll go JP. Although he also is trying to figure it out consistently. Maybe it's Dwayne Brown. He's trying to figure it out consistently. They're all trying to be more consistent. Bishop has been very consistent. It's just he kind of flirts with that 7 to 11 point range, and then just throw a dart at the dartboard to whether it's going to be Estrella, Dwayne Brown, or Carey. But I'll go JP for tonight. How about you?
I'm gonna go Boswell. He had a one-handed pass against Auburn. I was like, Bishop, don't. It wasn't a turnover, so it was okay. But you know how I am about those one-handed passes, man, from Bishop, man. They make me nervous.
They make Rick Barnes nervous too.
Yeah. Thursday, 8 a.m. Swain Event will be back for Ben McKee of Go Vols 247. I'm Jason Swain here in the Low T Center Studio. If you're looking to get rid of a wildlife issue in your home, you do that by hitting up Alpha Wildlife, their website, alphawildlife.com. Veteran-owned, big-time Tennessee fans operating out of the state of Tennessee. They serve all parts of Tennessee, west, middle, and east, also parts of South Carolina and Kentucky. That is alphawildlife.com. Not only can they remove the wildlife, but they can fix the issue so that way it does not happen again. I've used them. I haven't had an issue since. That is alphawildlife.com. All right, Ben, stay safe, stay warm. We'll do it again on Thursday. Peace and much love. Swain Event, fueled by